And go.
Inspire. Follow your dreams. My dream for the people in our world would be to be kind. In a world where we can be anything, we can be kind. I dream of a world where all people can be educated. And education will open any and all doors to your dreams. Set goals, dream big, greet your future with anticipation.
I currently live in Brooklyn, New York. I moved to New York City about 9 months ago from my home in Fargo, North Dakota, to pursue my lifelong dream as an actor and wellness practitioner in the entertainment industry. I moved here with nothing more than a suitcase, a prayer, and a dream, and it's been the best 9 months of my life. I am a fourth-generation Italian-American, first-generation male to graduate from a four-year university, and the only openly queer-identifying person in my family. As you can imagine, I've had a very interesting life story. I live with complex PTSD due to chronic childhood trauma. As a child, adolescent, and even into my early adulthood, I faced emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, and sexual abuse. Growing up in a small town in rural North Dakota, I lived in a community that was highly conservative and agricultural based with about 1,200 people, and I was in a graduating class of 23 kids. Growing up, I was bullied, harassed, and even sexually humiliated in the boys' locker room for being what was perceived as gay. It was common for me to be called names such as fag, faggot, queer, homo, and even a butt pirate. At the age of 16, I ran away from home due to a toxic home environment, and around 17, I would be put into temporary foster care, and later that summer, I would go on to attempt to commit suicide. I remember as I was laying there dying, I prayed and asked God to save me, and if He was going to save me, I would go on to try my best to make a difference in the world. And I am thankful and incredibly grateful to be speaking to you today. One of my saving graces in high school was being in theater. Theater gave me a safe space and an outlet to express the emotions that I was experiencing. I would go on to be in acting competitions and speech and debate competitions. I would win 5 regional championships, 2 state defending titles. I would be a 3-time national qualifier and go on to win 9th in the nation. At that time, I also started getting invested in Lady Gaga's career as a singer, as an advocate, as a fashion icon, as just an amazing and incredible artist and human being. When I ran away from home that summer, that was the same time that the Born This Way album came up, and I had ran away to this little rural town, and I got this job at a gas station making pizzas and fried foods and doing whatever I could to make money. And I would get up every morning at 4:30 in the morning, and I would have to walk a mile on the country road, and I would put my headphones on, and I would listen to the Born This Way album, and I would sing, and I would dance, and I was able to find strength and courage and bravery. I remember when the Monster Ball came on HBO and I had DVR'd it, and I watched that every single day for like 3 months. And the time that Lady Gaga wore the meat dress and sang the lyrics to Born This Way, it was the first time that someone had told me that it was okay to be myself. And it was the first time that I was allowed to feel accepted instead of rejected. Lady Gaga's career, music, advocacy helped to give me meaning and purpose as a queer person. And for that, I'm incredibly grateful. Her music has been the soundtrack to my life and has been a source of strength through many hard times and many great times as well. After graduating high school, I would go on to North Dakota State University to pursue my degree in theater performance and holistic wellness, mind, body, and soul. And I would eventually move to New York City to follow that career path. I'm incredibly grateful and I'm incredibly thankful for what Lady Gaga has done for me and what she has done for the world. And Born This Way Foundation, when I was a senior in high school, that's when you first launched. And I remember the first campaign where you were asking for little monsters to present their stories and what they've gone through. And I was one of those people to share my story. And so it's been really amazing to watch how this has transformed over the last decade, and how I've grown and how I've grown with Lady Gaga and her career and her music. And I'm recovering now for the past 3 years from my early childhood trauma and trauma that I experienced in my adulthood. I was able to get connected with mental health resources, be able to get connected with a counselor, and in my own pursuit as a wellness practitioner, being able to develop a self-care plan that has been able to bring structure and order into my life and allow me to pursue healing. You know, it's a journey, step by step, day by day, and I still have a long way to go, but I have come so far. I have conquered an eating disorder, self-harm, depression, anxiety, substance abuse, body dysmorphia. Today, I'm a completely different person because of the resources and the journey of healing that I have sought after. And I'm incredibly grateful for Born This Way Foundation and the work that you're doing in our communities, in our nation, in our global community to help bring mental health awareness and to help fight the stigma around mental health. I want to be a part of that.
When I grow up, I want to be a missionary because I always wanted to help kids. The person I want to meet is Kat because she is very famous and she's one state above me. I want to travel to China because they have nice places to go, and I also learn some Japanese words. The dream I mostly want is when I grow up, I'm going to college to be a leader in church, and I'll give money to the poor.
How have I made an impact on my community to be a kinder and braver place? Well, after graduating college with my degree in theater performance and holistic wellness, mind, body, and soul, I decided that I was going to work as a mental health technician at a substance abuse facility, helping clients on their road to recovery and also clients who were dealing with various mental illnesses. And during my time there, I was able to connect with my clients and work with them day to day to help them find a new lease on life. After working as a mental health technician, I would go on to work as a third grade teacher, working with students in a Title I school who are, again, at-risk youth coming from homes of broken families, divorce, substance abuse, alcohol abuse, and being a positive male role model in the public school system is a really integral part of our students' growth and success. Because a lot of these children don't have male figures, and I was able to provide that source for them and be a source of encouragement and helping them to grow as leaders. And we would always have this saying in third grade that if you, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. I would also teach middle school and develop curriculum for leadership and youth development programs within the arts, working at Trollwood Performing Arts School, which is the #1 performing arts school in North Dakota. And my classes were specifically designed with creating safe spaces and spaces of acceptance and kindness and compassion. And my students were a part of developing those classes. And, they were broken down into different teams, and we built theater companies, and my students trained with me as actors, and we built shows from the ground up. But it was always, around telling stories of how can we help impact our communities and change the world. And my middle schoolers jumped right into that, and they were the ones writing narratives on how to change the world. And I had high schoolers that I taught in speech and debate and acting competitions, and again, we developed skills in leadership and empathy and standing up for what is right and speaking it out against what was wrong. And the youth in America and around the world are what is going to change the world and make the difference. And they are the ones who I get up for every day and I fight for every day. And, living in New York City now, I manage the #1 coffee shop in New York City in Hell's Kitchen, Croissant Espresso. And even there, even if I'm managing a coffee shop, it still is developing my relationships with my customers and seeing a need and filling it and providing a safe space in a city that is so chaotic. And, living with PTSD and knowing that there's other customers that come in who have various mental illnesses, giving them a safe space to feel welcomed and invited makes the difference. And I made sure that in my stores we had decals that say all are welcome. And that visibility makes a difference. It makes a difference for those people who are coming in who may not feel loved, who may not feel welcome, but knowing that they have a space in this city for them, it makes all the difference. And I'm glad to be able to have a serving heart and to love the people in this community and to encourage them to be kind and brave. And that's what I stand for. And that's whether I'm teaching, whether I'm making coffee, it doesn't matter, because helping our communities grow in a positive, caring, and kind way is what makes the difference.
I am Paula Henry, and I'm the principal at Eastwood, and I had the great opportunity and pleasure to work with James. He is just an amazing individual, and he mentored so many young scholars here at Eastwood, and he connected with them. He taught them about patience and love and perseverance, and he worked with them on writing projects and creativity and art, and he just never gave up on a student. And I miss him so much. He made an amazing difference at Eastwood School, a school that has over 30 languages, a school that has children from all over the world, children who have an unbelievable amount of trauma in their life, and he made a difference. He helped grow scholars to be strong individuals, be proud of themselves, be proud of their work, and he brought out their joyfulness. So I highly recommend James Cavo for any position, any job, any work with anyone, not just young people, but with everyone. He is just an amazing human being, and I miss him very much. I wish he were right here, right now with me, and I would give him a great big hug.
Maya, Mrs. Cynthia Germanata, and Lady Gaga, I've talked to you today a little bit about my journey with mental health, what I have tried my best to do in our communities to create kinder, braver worlds. And when it comes down to it, what I stand for, who I am, aligns with what you're doing. And Maya, when I look at your social media and I see how you're making a difference, and Mrs. Cynthia Germanata and Lady Gaga and the Born This Way Foundation, I follow you and I share your post, and I'm encouraged. And I'm encouraged to help others to get in touch with mental resources, to, be able to help those in need and fight this stigma surrounding mental illness. And I really am wanting to help with our culture that right now is dealing with some real toxic masculinity. And in my life, what I had to face with toxic masculinity and how that affected me, and thinking about our marginalized communities, our communities of color, our Asian communities, our Latin communities, and how they're treated, and how we can get them fair representation and get them mental health resources. And it matters, and what you're doing matters. And I want to be able to be a part of your team and work for you and work with you to make a difference in the world. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and thank you for helping to make the world a better place. And just like we said in the 3rd grade, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Thank you.
It's been a long time since I came around. It's been a long time.